I'm completely, not a coding person. I would say Python is the most challenging thing for me. There were a lot of times where I got demotivated. I failed 2 interviews. I wouldn't say I failed. I would say, I couldn't pass through because of the coding. When you have 5+, 6+ experience, it's hard for you to get an interview. Then he might be looking for your past experience, but I got a decent hike, 35-40%, and it might not be the same for 2+ experience or 3+ experience guys.
Hello data lovers, so here I am again with an amazing podcast for the aspiring data analyst, and especially for those people who want to make a career transition from a different job profile, and even after gaining 5 to 7 years of experience in the industry to the data analyst job profile. I have invited an amazing guest who was having 6+ years of industry experience, and that too in mostly service-based companies, and his job profiles were really different, like infrastructure lead. He worked on operations job profile, telecommunication related job profiles, had no programming background at all, and invested too much of time in the management kind of role and client facing roles. So he will be sharing his entire experience, the most important part, the kind of challenges a 5-6 years of candidate can face while moving into this kind of job profile. So make sure you watch it till the very end, and also do like this video because a lot of informative stuff is waiting for you inside this podcast. Alright, so thank you so much, Sai. If you can give a short introduction to the audience about your past background, anything, it would be helpful for them to know more about you.
Thanks Shashank. Thanks for having me. Myself, SaiKrishna. I finished my graduation and post-graduation in telecommunications. And I worked majorly in the telecommunications background. It's both engineering, operations, and I was like infrastructure lead at the time. And I now transitioned to data analyst and working at Indegene.
So Sai, in your past mostly you have worked in networking and infrastructure related job profiles, as you already mentioned. So what kind of work you were actually doing? Were you like actually enjoying your day-to-day work, like being an infrastructure lead or a operations lead, or it became challenging for you after some time?
Well, I started my career as an engineer, RF engineer. So it's basically, optimizing your network, how, the coverage and all that stuff, work with Airtel, AT&T, Sprint, all these networks. Okay. And it was quite interesting. It's nothing like saturated or you fed up, nothing like that. It was always exciting. Always you get new challenges every day. Okay. And then, when I switched from engineering to operations, it was good, but at certain point, again, a lot of management skills. It's not just the technical skills, but more of a management skills. And when I was working there, it's good one. Okay, I won't say it's a boring job or nothing like that. It's good, but I'm more interested into the data stuff, so that's where I started it.
So was it kind of DevOps role, like you were just leading and supporting all the project requirements in terms of the infrastructure, server setup and all these things, or it was a little bit different?
Yes, it was not on the DevOps side. Okay, it's mainly on the management role. So it's 6 years experience. So if you divide it, first 3 years I'm into engineering, and then it's into infrastructure team. So there is a technical team who provides the services to the clients. Okay. But I'm the person who manages the team who provides these services. So it's, I would say, completely management. You can't say anything else. So dealing with the clients, meeting the deadlines, whenever clients need the services, sometimes at the earliest, sometimes there will be challenges which we need to overcome. So that you need to handle with multiple stakeholders, right? So yeah, that is most of it.
From infrastructure lead at Infosys to data analyst, right? You have made this career transition in data analytics finally. In your day-to-day activities, what was the time when you realized that no, I am not enjoying my current role and I'm looking for something else? Also, how difficult and challenging was this career transition for you from this kind of job profile, and even after spending 5 to 6 years already in the industry?
In the day-to-day activities, like, as I mentioned, mostly you work on the data, timelines, all that stuff, like how many it has to be delivered or how many are delivered. So it's always you look at the numbers, okay? You do look at the dashboards and figure out what's going behind. You make a plan, you look at the risks and make an action plan accordingly. So it's the numbers which telling you the story where you need to take an action, okay? So that's when I realized that rather management numbers gives you a lot of information and a lot of insights. So I think that's when I started, I'm interested in looking for something related to data work, okay? And I looked for multiple options, but data analyst is something which was I think it suits me. So that's what I can say. So that's where I moved. And coming to challenges, I'm completely not a coding person. You might have heard this from a lot of people, and I'm also moves into the same category. Not really a coding person, although we do have some in our graduation or post graduation, but not really a coding person. I'm more of a maths person. Okay. So statistics, mathematics, probabilities, all these things excite me basically. I love to do all that stuff, and yes, when you have to achieve something, you need to have face challenges as well. So I learned coding, and I would say Python is the most challenging thing for me. Now I think I'm okay. I don't say I'm an expert now, but I'm still learning. I'm growing. I'm able to handle all the operational tasks, or whenever it is required, I'm able to work on Python. It's comfortable, I would say.
So you can also put your thoughts. What would be the typical challenges you can face and you have faced? Put it in the comment section. How did you prepare yourself for data analyst role? What kind of skills did you learn step by step? Which skill did you find easy and which skill did you find very difficult to learn?
If I want to say about how the journey is happening, so it's basically, I came to know the Odin school, I know the Odin school before. So I was looking for multiple options, okay? It's not like directly I went to the Odin school. So I searched in the market. I want to find some course which help me, to upskill in the data side. And I did my, CAPM certification PMP course as well from the great campus, the same institute. And that's where, one of my friends mentioned that, they started data science course as well. So I thought like, okay, now I know this institute gives good education. So in the past, I do have experience. So I thought like, okay, let's give it a shot and start learning. And I like the curriculum. Basically, I would say it's like because the starting stuff is which I like, the statistics and then SQL, so which I already knew and easy for me to learn. So that gives me that excitement to keep moving. Okay, and then it start Python. So that's a hard stop, or hard path, I would say. So yeah, I read along, and the tough part when you are doing a transition, I would say this to anybody, okay? It's hard for you to get an interview, okay? You learned, you have the skills, maybe you are at least near to the threshold, like you said, for a basic data analyst position. But when you have 5+, 6+ experience, it's hard for you to get an interview. That's the first challenge for you, at least which I faced. Okay, you go through LinkedIn, upload your profile, you reach out to your friends, everybody says 5+, are you getting fake certificates? All these questions comes into picture. But that's where Odin School really helped me, I would say. They sent the resumes, and I gone through them, and it was good. They never ask like what's your past. They don't care about the persons who interviews you. They really not matter how your past is. but whether your current skills matches their profile or not. I'll start with the basics. So even currently, the data analyst still depends on Excel. So you have to be good with Excel, okay? And the second thing is statistics, okay? You can't be blind. You have to know the basics of statistics, and in-depth is really good, okay? If they go to somebody and ask like, what can you do this jet test? They're like, blank. What is it? You can't be like that, right? So these are the basic things. Hypothesis. What is hypothesis? You need to know the basic statistics, okay? And when you are working with a good amount of databases, you obviously work right in the enterprise. SQL is the third one, I would say, and the fourth one is your Python. Okay, so these are really important. Okay, must need, I would say. These are must need. And the visualization tool, it will be a very good advantage of it, and sometimes it is very mandatory, depends on the position you are going for an interview. Okay, some might be only focusing on analyst, some might be asking for visualization as well, because organizations do have teams dedicatedly for visualization, right? So but yeah, visualization will be a very good advantages for you. Okay, so these five, I would say, for a data analyst, not for data science or data engineer, but I would don't go for modeling, all that stuff. If you know, advanced Python or your modelings, logarithms, all that stuff, that will be very good. Okay. But for a transition, if you need, these five are the must skills.
How has your experience been so far for the data analyst job profile? If you compare it with your past 5 to 6 years of industry, how are you enjoying it? Also, like as a data analyst in your, let's say, current job, what are the activities you are doing frequently, and what kind of tool and tech stack which you are using very frequently?
The current job, it's really good. Okay, it's really exciting. Every day you get a new challenges. Every day, I won't say every day, but at least very frequently you get a problem to solve. Okay. Because clients pays you a lot, they invest on you a lot to get their insights. So you will get a problem. Sometimes you don't expect that there is a problem, something like that. So you have to be ready to analyze the stuff, okay, from multiple perspectives. It's not just from one angle you should look, the day-to-day activities. Okay, I look at the average, they say, okay, averagely they spend this much. No, that's not enough. Client is looking for something new. You have to be good at it. Okay, so you look at multiple things and provide it. And for me, day-to-day activities, so it's you have regular operational deliverables where you need to provide some reports on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. So those will stay like that, okay? And we use Python, we use our SQL to prepare these reports, okay? And sometimes we use dashboards, Tableau dashboard as well, okay? These are the three tools which I use for my regular operations, okay? And coming to, I would say these are like ad hoc requests, okay? And that is something, it depends, okay? Sometimes you can be able to solve it just with the Excel, okay? Sometimes you need to look at like years of data, okay, to get that insight or to get that solution. So it completely depends, okay? And what is more important or more interesting is every project is different, and sometimes I've been into 3 different projects for now, okay? So every project is different. Sometimes there will be some traditional way where the clients are following and they don't want to change it. So you have to get ready and tell them this is very much useful, the new automation helps you a lot, saves you a lot of efforts. So preparing those things to the client and telling them, okay, so there is a new way where you can adopt for yourself, which will help, at least 50% of your efforts, 75% of your efforts, then client will appreciate. So these stuff, these challenges are also included in, so far in my career, okay? Looking at the problem, providing them the right solution, even though they didn't ask sometimes.
What does a data analyst interview look like for a 6-7 years experienced candidate? And in each round, what type of questions were asked to you as well when you were giving the interviews?
I'll give my experience. It all depends on what's the profile you are applying for, okay? If the company is looking for a real-time 6 years of experience of a data analyst, they won't pick my resume because my 6 years of experience is completely in a different profile, okay? So if the company is looking for, okay, I need a good working knowledge experience, even though if he has basic skills, okay, then he might be looking for your past experience, but the current skills, they might look at a basic level, like how an associate data analyst starts, okay? That's where they look at. So I would say it's all depends on the profile, okay? So for me, they did ask for all the analyst questions. It got 2 different rounds, basically 3. One is HR, 2 are the technical, one is with manager, another with the senior manager. Both are technical, and all the way it's more or less like you'll have a real hands-on. So they will ask you to write some queries or a SQL code, or and ask you to do some whatever Excel you want to get on. So hands-on is definitely mandatory, okay? They will test you there and your problem solving skills. So maybe give a real-time question and ask you for the problem, because when you have 5-6 years experience, you might have seen many cases in the past. Maybe you can't directly correlate with the how a data analyst can do. He cannot explain it in a coding words, but in general how you are trying to solve the problem, that is really important. Right. So that is another part. And third one is how you handle the pressure. I see these are the 3 things which at least I have faced, okay, and 3 of the one. But you have to crack your hands-on experience. That's the first thing. I failed 2 interviews. I won't say I failed. I would say I couldn't pass through because of the coding. Maybe I'm not skilled enough for what they are looking for, okay? But yeah, once you pass through your hands-on, then only you'll come for other skills. For whoever aspiring, I would give one suggestion. Okay, so it's basically, do not get demotivated, okay? So that's really important. There were a lot of times where I got demotivated, hell with the code, I don't want to do anymore. So, but do not get demotivated, keep trying, okay, keep practicing. So that's important, okay? Practicing is really, really important. Yep. I would say.
So during interviews, do companies raise any concern for the past experience and the job profile? Because this is the common query I have received from those folks who want to make these kind of career transition. Their first question, whether my past experience will be considered or not, I will be treated as a fresher, or my compensation, my new role will be adjusted according to my previous experience as well.
It's really important. I'm glad you raised this point. Okay, so see, if a 2 years experience person or a 3 years experience person, it won't be a big challenge for them. Okay, but when you have 5, 6, 7 years of experience, you have a complete different, and you can't be just throw them in the bin and start from the scratch. Okay. You have to showcase that it will be useful for your upcoming role. Okay, I have projected I have my management skills and I'm good with the data. So I don't need a lead to go and present it to the client. I can manage the client by myself. Okay, so because I do have good management skills, and I had interaction. I mean, I've worked with US, Australia, Europe, all different regions of the clients, and I'm dealing with them from 5-6 years. So that's where I have utilized my skills. Okay, and sometimes you have to compromise on the designation you get. Okay, you can't be, you are an infrastructure lead, you can't be directly a lead analyst.
Right.
Okay, sometimes you have to compromise. Okay, but as long as you're satisfied what you are doing, I don't think your designation really matters. If you want to be a data analyst, you have to be a proven experience, solving analytical problems, right? Which obviously we will not be having, right? So sometimes you have to compromise on the designation. I did, okay? So, but yeah, definitely I'm using all my past experience currently, handling the client, maybe looking at different types of problems, quick grasping of the solution, all these things.
In Infosys, what was your salary? And now when you have moved into the data analyst job profile, so how much that percentage has increased for you when it comes to the compensation?
Okay, so coming to the salary part, like I said, a few times you have to compromise on some aspects. Okay, and I won't say I have completely compromised. I got the decent hike. I got some 35% of the hike. Okay. In the current market, if it's really an experienced and you're looking for the same role, I would say it would be definitely more than that. Okay, but yeah, I got a decent hike, 35-40%, and it might not be the same for 2+ experience or 3+ experience guys, because the percentage will be 100-150 because of the the numbers are less. Okay,
yeah.
But when you have high experience and transitioning, then a little bit compromise is required.
So that's what I had for you guys. I am pretty sure you would have enjoyed Sai's experience. If you further want to connect with him, I will definitely provide his LinkedIn profile link in the video description. So just go and follow him and have a conversation if you have any question and queries. Also, don't forget to check out the upcoming boot camps of 𝗏𝗏𝗀 School, and there are special surprise as well for you. So during the consultation call, if you will mention that you are coming from the e-learning bridge channel, then you will get extra 5,000 discount along with the scholarship as well. So thank you so much, Sai. Thanks from my side and from my audience side as well.
Thanks a lot, Shashank.
If you find it informative, then what are you waiting for? Just smash the like button, and also if you are new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button and press the notification icon. And I will see you guys in the next week with another amazing podcast. Till then, just keep exploring data.